Hello, everyone. So we are back with Karakarom. They just dropped a track, and we couldn't resist and listen it with you all because Karakarom is one of those bands that we truly love, and we keep on saying that in every video. So it's
But everyone knows by now.
everybody should be knowing it by now, obviously. So let's jump to this particular track, and then we talk about it.
Let's do
It's
it.
called
Let's
Gol
do it.
Chakkar, by the way.
Three.
Mhm.
Let's do it. Three, two, one, play. I'm gonna head back.
It is a
बड़े हर्ट मुझे कोई रोके ना टोके ना रोके ना मैं जाऊं जो करूं सारे सब थे वही साथ जो रहे सब थे वही साथ जो रहे जाने दे मुझे अब जाने दे सारे सब थे वही साथ जो रहे सब थे वही साथ जो रहे
Oh,
You were trying to
I
get
think
back
my
to
headphone
senses.
was. Yeah, they were just. All right. The first words when I heard this track, I just texted Hamad with, "Oh my god," during the track. "Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god." This is the Karakaram we got to know first.
Correct.
It's when we were introduced to Karakaram, this was the Karakaram. Not that the other avatars of Karakaram we don't love. We love them all equally.
Hmm.
But okay, before everything else, thank you so much, Karakaram, all of you, for bringing Faraz Anwar. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
the, yeah, you know, l- seeing Faraz Anwar, it just my eyes went moist. It's yeah, Faraz Anwar.
How wonderful is that? You remember I texted you as soon as I just saw the first second there were credits of the track,
Yes,
and it mentioned featuring Faraz Anwar, and I instantly texted you that this track features Faraz Anwar. The shocker moment. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah. Cannot thank you all enough to bring Faraz Anwar back on screen. I mean, it's not like he's away. He has been producing music on his own channel, but it's so good to see him in a mainstream track
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
I know that my brother would cry.
Mm-hmm.
My younger brother would cry looking at Faraz Anwar back
Mm-hmm.
on mainstream
Mm-hmm.
TV. Uh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Gol Chakkar. Karakarom.
During the last track, if you remember, I expressed my wish
Zindagi.
that I hope, yeah, when we were reviewing Zindagi together. And there I expressed my wish that I hope Karakaram returns with a hard rock or borderline metal track. And here they are. I know it's not because of
Here they are.
me, but thank you, Karakaram, for returning to what you do the best, or at least, as Haris mentioned, the Karakaram that we know. We listen to Tufan, we listen to Awaz, and both were extremely powerful tracks. And then we listened to their collaboration with Hassan Rahim. The track was called Q.
Kyun.
It was again a wonderful, wonderful track and collaboration. And then we listened to Dur, and then Zindagi.
On this channel. On this channel.
Yes, on this
On
channel.
this channel. So we have only on this channel. So
Yeah.
I mean, we have heard their work. Um, I was just listening to Elane Jang,
Hmm.
the album, right? Tufan, Elane Jang itself, and it's this, this, and the first impressions, the first introductions,
Hmm.
at least for us towards Karakaram was Elane Jang,
Hmm.
right? And then Karakaram take a different route and went into exploring different kind of music,
Hmm.
which was again something that is part of the evolution.
Yeah.
uh, I mean, Ye Dunya, right? Just last year.
Hmm.
What an incredible track!
One of the
Incredible
best.
track. I mean, uh, just last night I was listening to Ye Dunya again, and I just, I just keep thinking that how amazing. I mean, I cannot put that into words. That track was, but again, coming to this track now. Okay, the the sound of it, that this completely encompassing sound, that this enveloping sound, that this, when you have a proper headphone on, right? This doesn't work with my AirPods Pro, right? It's this completely enveloping sound that they have created with this track, engulfing the experience of it is something that I was craving for. I enjoyed it so much,
Top
so
quality.
much. Now this goes again, okay, so let's talk about quality, right? I mean, there's no questions around it,
Hmm.
but I mean, the quality of mixing, the quality of production is absolute top notch.
Hmm.
Absolute, every single element, every single thing is just top notch. I mean, they have been doing top notch stuff, of course, but in this track, I mean, don't even have to mention it, right? It, I do want to talk about the lyrics with
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
because this is where we love them most because the message, the the topics they want to talk about.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you have anything on top of, man, this I there's like thousand things going on in my head right now about this track, and I don't know where to go, in which direction.
A lot of brain signals throughout
Honestly, it's yeah, it's a traffic jam. It's
about to
complete
explode.
traffic jam. Yeah, but I mean, what it's like we can talk about this throughout the night, right?
Hmm.
But what do you want to? You go.
I want to talk about the music first. So for me, the guitars in this track were the best bit. All the guitarists, the lead guitarist, the bassist, and on top of that, Faraz Anwar. Who would have thought that they are going to showcase him? I personally didn't expect.
Remind me talk about the Faraz Anwar solo, okay?
Yes,
So
yes, I
we
will.
don't
I
so
will.
that we don't forget. Okay,
But yeah,
okay, go on. Sorry, sorry.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine Faraz Anwar being showcased. So I remember that Karakaram put a YouTube short video of the steps Faraz Anwar was taking, and they titled that particular video "Guess Who." And I was wondering that it's probably gonna be a collaboration, but with any other current band. They collaborated with Hassan Rahim. They have worked with a lot of artists during Coke Studios. So I thought that okay, it's gonna be a collaboration with a current band maybe, but I hadn't had faintest of the idea that it was going to be Faraz Anwar. So that was absolute shocker. Absolute, absolutely brilliant, brilliant work done by Karakaram there. And the fullness of sound, as you mentioned, is mind blowing. It's a proper headbanger. Um, the last three tracks that we heard from Karakaram and in the sequence that they have released them, they were more into the mellow zone. But this was the kind of music that I was expecting always from Karakaram, and it was wonderfully done. Um, the bit where Faraz Anwar solo is going on, you talk about Faraz Anwar solo, but I always have shown my love towards Bilawal, but just try to listen to how he is matching that guitar solo with the drums. I was
Okay,
completely hooked. Yeah.
before that, I want to talk about the bass itself.
Mm.
Did you manage to pick bass throughout this track?
I
I did.
did.
I couldn't.
I could. Um, I mean the kind of the background guitar riffs that were going on through. I think the bass was overlapping along with that constantly. If you listen to it very clearly.
I I don't know. I've heard this track so many times now. I don't know, 7 to 8 times
Hmm.
already, and maybe every single time that I listen to it, I get distracted by everything else
Hmm.
in this track. I actually tried to search for bass line or bass itself. It just didn't came through. The drums and all, they were everywhere.
Hmm. Hmm.
We will talk about that. But Faraz Anwar, okay, let's talk about Faraz Anwar and the solo, especially not the bit that he did around the outro
Hmm.
itself,
Hmm.
but the solo.
Hmm.
I want to hear your thoughts on what did you think about that particular solo,
So
because I have my definitive opinion about it.
okay. So if you talk about the guitar solo in terms of what it was trying to communicate in this particular track, um, it kind of felt to me that it was just breaking the shackles because this track is, if I interpret it correctly, it is kind of a rebellious track. And it reached that tipping point where Faraz Anwar was introduced, and it felt to me that, as I mentioned in the chat as well, the chorus part is something on the line that's "Ab nahi to kabhi nahi," right? The bit that, and that guitar solo felt like that verse to me. That he is just trying to emote through guitar. That he is now breaking all the shackles and just completely just into his rebellious zone. And that's what I perceived when he was playing that as well. But what are your definitive
Okay.
thoughts?
Okay. Interestingly, I mean, I shouldn't get surprised by now, but I still do get surprised when we are most on the same page. If you remember, there was this one line, uh, बोल दे जो दिल में है बसा या
Hmm.
और और बोल दे जो दिल में है डसा.
Dasa. Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we don't have the lyrics, and I couldn't distinguish between these two. Both of these work,
Hmm.
considering there was a snake around, you know.
Hmm.
So, both the जो दिल में है बसा और बोल दे जो दिल में है डसा, whatever, works both ways. That guitar solo was it.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know,
Yeah. Hmm.
it was it.
Bol
बोल
de.
दे जो दिल में है. So it again, as you said, it is exactly my thoughts. It's about breaking shackles. It's about getting out of a toxic environment. You know, breaking walls and all, and express in whatever way that has been suppressed,
Hmm.
right? And when someone is so suppressed and oppressed throughout their life, they explode
Yeah.
like that guitar solo. And
Correct.
the guitar solo was that explosion,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
that explosion, you know. बोल जो दिल में है बसा, you know,
Yeah.
जो फंसा हुआ है दिल में.
Badass.
This is what yeah, I mean, it was explosive. It was kind of a scream. It was kind of a, you know, uh, yeah, it was, I don't know, but I think the explosiveness is the only term that comes to my mind, that you know, the person is oppressed for so long, and now they have decided through their power of will that साय में रहते पर अब नहीं, सारे कहते
अब
अब
नहीं
नहीं
तो
तो
कभी
कभी
नहीं.
नहीं, right?
Yeah.
So that was a guitar solo.
Absolutely. And I think
I'm
it's,
sorry again. I
you are right, and it's also depicted in the video as well, right? So the snake is guarding the space, and Sherry is kind of in his
Yes, right.
bubble, and he is in his shell, and he's scared to death and want to come out of that space because, and he couldn't come out of that space because of the fear or maybe some other emotion, or he's just holding it a lot within himself.
It's, I mean, this track again. We talk about art being enabling interpretation in multiple ways, right? This is a piece of art that they have created, and for me, this fits so well for our current societal issues. So much hatred, so much decisiveness, so much corruption, so much oppression, you
Yeah.
know, from all angles. There is just depression all over, whether it's economy, whether it's society itself, the decline on average, right? So they're talking about the same things, right? नफरतों से दूर नफरतों से
Exactly.
दूर हम चलें, जीने दे हमें, you know, बोल जो दिल में है बसा, अब नहीं तो कभी नहीं. It's about breaking shackles, standing up for yourself, not either for yourself personally, for your family, for your society, for the nation. You
Yeah.
know, break the shackles that these corrupt folks have weaved
Around you.
around the country, the nation. You know, they have completely destroyed with their oppression, with their policies and all. You know, it fits everything on everything. Especially for me, when I look at, I mean, as an expat looking at our nation from outside,
Yeah.
this is what's happening, right? And yeah, it can be interpreted that like that. So, phew, I mean, I would love to hear their version of it.
Hmm.
Sherry's version. I mean, Annan. What was he thinking? What was
Yeah.
Omair thinking?
Hmm.
What was Bilawal thinking? What was, they all were thinking when they were performing this track. But yeah, man,
I
it's
actually,
overwhelming.
I'm actually intrigued about one more thing in this track, and that's the usage of colors of the wardrobe. So all the band members, Sherry and everyone, yeah, you are dressed up in white as well to just support them and just show your love towards this particular video. So why did they pick this white wardrobe for everyone? And by the way, Faraz Anwar was in black, so I'm wearing black. So yeah.
He's a person who actually broke the shackles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Right? He broke the shackles. I think why they were wearing white, maybe if I'm not wrong, that signifies the psychiatric wards where everything is
Ah.
bland, everything is white, and people are
Yes. Yes.
shackled
Yes. Good. Good point.
in those environment.
Good point.
It could be that, could be. Um, but that's our interpretation, right?
Mm.
Oh,
But what an
okay,
experience
yeah.
it was.
It's overwhelming, absolutely overwhelming. Maybe it's just emotions talking because we are just so excited and happy that we got to experience that. Um, it could be our bias towards them
Yeah.
because man, we love them so much, and yeah, I mean we are living in an age after those that 2000 period where the golden period of music in Pakistan.
Mm.
These are the folks who are the torch bearers
Yeah.
of music,
Absolutely.
and we cannot get behind them more.
Mm. Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for Karakaram. Thank you so much, Karakaram, for dropping this track. And we are actually getting a lot of tracks from them pretty quickly. So I'm expecting that they might be dropping an album. Just a wish again, but let's hope so. And thank you so much, all of you. Let us know your thoughts around this particular track as well. And we'll catch up on the next one. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.